Someone speaking, let's just make sure.
Testing, testing.
It's on, okay, we got really quiet there all of a sudden.
I know. An eerie calm.
They came up with Erie bomb. That's not
Oh, wow.
translation.
The Erie Canal right here.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, I make a motion, we open the meeting.
Second.
Oop,
Yeah.
you guys are pouncing tonight.
Oh, ready.
Okay, trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Lindbeck.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Hi.
Motion passes.
Okay, the meeting is open. Is there any board member with a conflict of interest or anything to disclose regarding this evening's agenda?
I have none.
Feel free to chime in, everybody.
I do not.
I do on number 8.
Number 8.
Okay, now, 8, the leap
You
machine,
need
No.
9.
or 9?
It's like, oh, really?
That leap
Why the
machine,
leap? I
man.
was talking to Dennis
You know.
earlier about it.
What's going on there?
Number 9, I don't know if this is a conflict. There's been some discussion with the Del Monte in regards to, not recently, but a while back.
Jeff, can you talk about what
Yeah, tell
conflict
us
of
what
interest
conflict is.
would mean, just so we're all.
Conflict of interest, means that you have a pecuniary involvement, someone in your family does, you're gonna make money off this.
It could be financial gain, or you
Okay.
have a vested interest in the outcome. Okay.
The more nebulous category is the appearance of impropriety,
Right.
which is harder to pin down and certainly harder to define, but you know, I think if you have an interest in something other than money, but it is a real live interest, then that might rise to the level of appearance of impropriety, but straight up, it's usually the conflict usually comes in with regard to money.
Yeah, okay. I don't have a conflict. No one's paying me.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, and I don't have any conflict either. Okay, all right. With that being said, would the clerk please read the open meeting compliance certification, or sort of the greatest hits?
The greatest hits,
Yeah.
I'll go real simple. Our audience members, if you wish to speak, please give your name and address, unless you're under a protected class of law. If you're online, you can submit questions via the Q&A. If you wish for me to ask the board a question, if you wish to ask the board a question, please raise your hand and I will cue you so you can speak to the board. Outside of that, let's all have a nice and evening meeting.
With all due speed. Okay, with that being said, let's all rise for the pledge of allegiance, please. And I will ask trustee Coe to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Is there anybody here for public comment or online?
Do we have anybody online today?
We have 2 on.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, with that being said, do we have our representative
Yes,
here from the sewer pump software?
Mr. Candido, is Mark, and I'm going to allow him to talk.
Yeah, our first item, just for anybody online, is the sewer pump station upgrades. We're looking at a monitoring component. That's a software upgrade for these systems. And also for the siphons that go under the canal. And I'm sorry, what was our gentleman's name?
He's able to speak.
Yep. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, hi, welcome.
Good evening.
Can
So
you
this
give
is,
us a name for the record?
So this is Mark Candido. I'm with GA Fleet and Associates LLC. Yeah, we're the representative for flight pumps and flight monitoring equipment.
Okay, welcome. Is Scott online as well?
No.
Okay. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we appreciate that. And I know that some of the trustees had some questions about the process and the installation of all of this. I know, Dave, you had some questions the last time as well. And we're interested in this obviously because it is a system that will certainly be, thank you, more productive for our DPW crew and they have the real-time monitoring. Actually, we also are aware that our colleagues in the town, they have this software program as well. And so we, share services and things. So this is something that we were really interested in looking at. So with that being said, I know, Dave, did you want to start off with some of the questions
Sure.
that you had for Mark?
Not Mark, Dave Marshall.
Evening.
Primary question was about the warranties on the equipment that you're installing and the nature of the software upgrade cycle over time and whether or not there may be costs incurred from either, and what type of confidence we can have with both. Over time, even absent of the warranty, what's the expected life?
All right, so I'll touch on the warranty portion and everything. So everything kind of quoted on the two different proposals. I guess one we'll call them the siphon monitoring, and then the other one will be the Wood Creek pump station monitoring and controller. There's a 5-year warranty on all equipment. And then any software updates are all free for the life of the system. Long as you're paying the yearly subscription, that's included, and we'll just kick those updates out as necessary. Unless it's a major one that we got to come out and do get into the system on site, but 99% of the time the updates are going to be pushed out remotely, and you won't even know you only know they're happening.
Let's go back to the equipment if we could. So obviously you're acquiring the equipment from a third party. Are there multiple third party vendors for that equipment? What led you to select this equipment manufacturer? And what's been your experience?
So the controllers and components are all coming from Xylem Flight. Xylem's our I'll say our #1 vendor. And as you know, you guys have flight pumps at the new station on Monroe Ave there, and your existing Wood Creek pump station or flight pumps. So this equipment marries very well with those pumps. And those pumps are kind of unique. So they have some sensors in them that this equipment marries with them very well.
What's the expected life outside of the 5-year warranty, and what's the cost to repair look like over time?
I mean, so like I said, there's a 5-year warranty. I mean, the town of Pittsford has these controllers out there, and we've had very, very low problems with anything. Maybe a warranty issue with a modem that got hit by lightning or something like that, but we usually take care of that. But I mean, I have controllers out there in the field that are 20 years old that have no issues at all.
I'm going to extend some time here to Jason, our superintendent.
Yeah.
Couple questions.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what the age of the Pittsburgh system is
In the town?
in the town.
That's what that was my question to you, yeah.
So I think we did the first multi-smart Nexicon upgrade for them. I gotta say, 5 years plus, I would say. I don't know exactly. I'd have to look back in the system or even consult with the town on that. But I know they've been there for at least 5 years. When Gary Secor was there, we put a lot of them in. I don't know if anybody knows that name, but we did the majority of the work, and now we're doing 3 more with them coming up here real shortly with Kevin and Jim.
Is there the ability to buy an extended warranty on this equipment?
I've never had that question come up. I'd have to check on that. I don't see why not, but I can look into that.
Just a curiosity, if the equipment's real good, maybe it's a fairly low cost to protect us. Again, how long has this type of equipment been generally available to the public and been installed? And
I mean, there's definitely been generations of it. This Nexicon is the most recent generation of it. The biggest reason why Xylem has kind of switched gears and gone to a different controller is we had a big problem with the old controller with cybersecurity, and cybersecurity has become a very, very prominent thing in our world. And this controller has, we'll say, NASA level encryption on it. So it's very safe, especially because you guys are going to have remote monitoring tied to it. That's very important.
Yeah, that's a good point. Any
And we
other?
have, and we have certificates that, kind of tote that's why we've done this, and, the level of security and the vetting of it and all that stuff too.
Thank you, I'm all set.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, yes.
Oh,
Go ahead, David. So I just, David Wilkes, I just have one question, and this actually incorporates Jason. So just to confirm, we just need 2 of the RTU panels, is that correct?
For the site.
For the stipend?
Correct, we won't need the third.
Okay, so Mark, I want to confirm, do you have the updated pricing for us as relates to the stipend project total?
So essentially it'd be the $7,600 per site. And then the $499 a year per site for the actual monitoring of it.
Okay, and then, so we have $500 for freight.
Yeah, that's just for the equipment to get to us. Because it's all assembled in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, is there any adjustment for the fact that there are 2 versus 3?
Well, so I was talking to some people about this earlier, I'm kind of piggybacking, so that the town of Pittsburgh has a sole source with us. This meaning that they don't have to go out to bid if it's flight related. So I'm kind of piggybacking their sole source letter on this, and I'm giving you a standard their standard 25% discount on everything.
Okay, and then questions as it relates to the wood press and the siphon. What is it? This
oh,
one
Wood
day
Creek.
or Wood Creek.
Yeah,
This one day of field startup services. So I just want to confirm in total, this is going to be $5,500 for both?
Yeah, yep, right around there, yep.
Okay,
Well, so if we're down to 2, so we're just shy, we're at 19,000 for the 2. And then 12,800 or 12,900, we'll say, for the Wood Creek installation.
12,900. Sorry, I'm not following.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm not
So,
seeing
I-
that.
I
So-
would have liked to have this updated before it was presented.
Yeah,
That
because
would have been nice.
for Wood Creek, I'm seeing $3,000 for one day of field installation.
No, so okay, you're not talking total, you're talking just the installation portion of it.
Correct. So I was
So,
adding 3,000 plus 2,500 equals 5,500.
Yeah, so yeah, $3,000, that's $3,000 just to go to that site and essentially take out the existing controller and put the new one in.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay,
and then for the RTU installation, I'm assuming that should be a little bit lower though, because we only have 2 that you're having to do.
Well, so what we usually try to do is kind of bill it by day, but I can revisit that with our shop supervisor and see what we can do.
yeah, I think what the board would like to see is, now that, we've all sort of walked through this a bit, and there's some changes, we're going to need to see the revised numbers of exactly
Yeah,
what would be our cash outlay.
Mhm.
Understandable.
I think that's really where this is going, because what we have in front of us is now we're
Now-
changing it up a bit.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Mark, I think that would be really helpful if you could, revisit those numbers and rework them and work your magic.
Yeah, so essentially it'd be the 2,500, well, the installation. Yeah, so essentially be divided by 3 is what it would really come down to. So it'd be what, $1,600 per site for the
Yeah.
you're
installation.
saying 2,500 3 times 2. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, $1,600 times 2 instead of it'd be 2,500 divided by 3 for.
Gotcha.
Nonetheless,
So
we still want to
833
have the
times two.
revised numbers
Yeah, I
sent,
can get that.
yeah, sent to Dorothea. That would be.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mark, can I ask you a question? It's Dorothea Chaparro, the village clerk, and also the treasurer. We're gonna be paying for the services, the on-site for the year, the
Yep.
monitoring for the year. Are we paying for the first year?
So the first year is included with the software. That's all baked in there. And
It's-
then, yeah, so it's all baked in there. I know I listed it out there. I just want to show you what. So essentially it'd be less the $500 for each site for the RTUs, and then less the $500 on the Wood Creek pump station. So I
You
just want-
reflected when you revised the numbers that it's all inclusive in the first year. So I think it would be helpful for not only for the board, but also anybody from the public wanting to see these
Absolutely.
documents.
Yep.
Yeah, anytime we can have greater clarity and more transparency, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, and kind of the nice thing with this whole thing, so there usually is an initial fee for the system, but that was kind of absorbed by the Monroe Ave pump station project. So
Mhm.
it's kind of just, adding widgets onto that system that you technically already have.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, and John, you had some
It
questions?
was the same question.
It was the same question. Okay. Lisa, did you have any other
No,
questions?
that sounds.
I mean, is there,
Updated.
so
Okay.
updated numbers, just sort of reflecting sort of clarity of what's really included for the first year and then what it would look like going forward after that.
All right, I'm just gonna throw this out there because this would be the several times come back.
Mhm.
If the numbers show the reduction that we're anticipating, the removal of the one stipend, the adjustment of the installation, the removal of the first year monitoring on the post. Is the board okay with moving forward with this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because if you are, if
sure.
you can put that in your motion, I assume I can go ahead and get the contract signed with the appropriate. So you don't have to have it come back another meeting.
Yeah, that's
do we need a dollar amount though?
I think with this, the proposed changes,
as
it's less than
proposed.
the total here. Those changes you're looking for, is what I'm saying. They're pretty specific. Those can be checked and reviewed and I can
Mhm.
forward it on so you can see it,
Mhm.
unless someone sees it different.
Is there a time constraint that we have? Can it just be presented at the next meeting? I mean, are we on
I'm
time?
just trying to
frame?
save your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we've had it before this
There's
board,
nothing
now we have the
new.
representative here, we're aware of all the changes that are being made, I think it's just, trying to move business forward.
That's all I'm
for
trying
the
to do, is
village.
get it off the agenda.
Yeah, in other words, we kind of know we know we need this. And now we know that we're gonna have the numbers revised down by a certain amount. And so, I mean, we could make it conditional not to exceed even the current amount, if you wanted to do it that way, I don't know, ever asked.
It's up to the board. It was just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good one, because, you want to move business forward.
I'm looking
I,
for it.
I have a question. I know this is gonna be hard for Jason. I don't want to throw this on you, and if you don't know, because I haven't asked you. How much manpower is this saving DPW? Can you give me like a percentage of a one man? I mean, like, is this a
It's
huge?
2 to 4 person job, 2 to 3 days a week going out to monitor, Wood Creek, siphons, and then eventually, obviously, 75 Monroe. We go manually inspect, just visually make sure that everything looks okay,
Mhm.
it's working okay, but there are a lot of times where, we just receive a phone call on the antiquated system that we get, and it's usually much later than when it should be. And so we'll get over there and we've already got, the problem incurring and we have to take immediate action, which then is a 4 or 5 person crew. Right now, like last week, Ms. Rochester cleaned it up, so
Okay,
it does save us a
That
significant
helps.
amount of time.
okay,
yeah.
that
Oh,
helps.
I think I would definitely.
Yeah,
think it would
I had
impact-
no idea, but that helps.
Yeah.
Thank you for
it's-
clarifying
it's
that.
definitely-
I would definitely think it would impact productivity for the crew, because now you have real-time monitoring as soon as anything
The
happens.
minute we have a problem.
Real time.
Okay.
And not only
That
that, if you're not available or something happens, we have an intermunicipal agreement with our friends in the town who have the same software, and we can support each other in response to
Right,
them.
right, that's
It's a
very-
completely, it's a
Yeah.
game changer, I think, really, in terms of how we monitor it.
If we didn't need it, I would be speaking up and saying so, which is
Sure.
why I said that the one monitor system over at the siphon that's over here, that one's very low flow. We can keep an eye on that manually. That's an easy one for us. to
Yeah,
check.
so that's been netted out already.
So
That's,
that's fine.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So can you repeat what you needed? Dorothy?
If the board will approve the expenditure, the
Yeah.
the
I can
removal of
make-
the stipend,
Okay, John's on it.
the.
So I'll make a motion that we allow Dorothea to, once we get the revised pricing as noted tonight for the siphon sites monitoring for 2 units and the Woodcrest controls upgrade, increase, she'd be allowed to make that purchase.
Second,
Okay. Trustee Co,
Hi,
trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us this evening and giving us, the most current information. And thanks for revising the numbers as well.
Alrighty,
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. Next up, the village-wide alert system. We had this on the agenda. This is the voluntary for our residents to sign up to receive real-time alerts if there's some type of emergency in the village, maybe if they have a water main break or something happens in the part of the village. And I know staff has done some research on, different possibilities. And I know that the group, everybody came up with a recommendation that you'd like to make to the board.
Yep,
This evening.
and as we spoke last time, we recommend the Catalyst system.
Okay.
Some charge per text and different things. We don't want to get caught up in that kind of,
Mhm.
numbers game. This is all inclusive. It's a software we use currently for our website. It seems pretty no-brainer to continue. And it offers the ability to narrow areas down to streets. So if there's a particular issue with one street, or we can notify. just-
Like a gas leak in a
Yeah,
certain
we can
area,
Notify a certain area. We
Yeah, we
don't
can say-
have to notify the
Okay.
whole village on
Mhm.
something that's just affecting a small portion.
Does the village have to do all the input into this, or does the company do it?
There's no input. They'll set up the system. What we do is we'll put out QR code, we'll put out something for people to sign up. The
But-
residents sign up themselves.
Okay, so.
You're
putting
saying if
it-
there's an alert, we've got to notify them and then they do the.
No,
No,
we
no,
do the
no, it's
notification.
real
Oh,
time.
we knew,
It's
We'll
real
do the
Think of it
notification.
as the way we put out e-bulletins or update anything on
We'll
social
make it-
media.
The
It's,
board
we just
will
would
work with the board,
handle
will
it.
make determinations what qualifies to go out as a
Yeah.
test alert.
But if you're gonna send it out to just one street, who sets up that? the
It would
residents
be,
of that
both
street?
set up. Jason has Danielle, she'll learn how to do the
Okay.
text alerts, I'll do them.
It's
Okay.
inherent in the system software. I see where you're going with that. In
Yeah.
other words, we will have the
We'll set up the
capability in real
criteria.
time to configure it as needed. I see where you're going. We don't have to go back to the company to ask them to do it.
No, we can
Yeah.
do that, we can change it.
I'm assuming it's pretty much when you sign up, you're added to a
Yeah,
database.
we add,
Your local
it's the
database.
same thing as the website, I put in the user,
Mhm.
let's say if an employee leaves us, we take them out,
Mhm.
remove them from. But we'll remove them from the system. So yeah, and then the best part is this is on the residents to sign up and they'll put in their information and what
Mhm.
kind of alerts they want, so. We're
Yeah.
not, they
Yeah.
can't use our existing our
Okay.
existing list, so we'll have to do a new.
Well, as it should be. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
different way to have communication from our municipality.
So this actually looks cheaper. I thought it was 2,500 every year.
Well, that was me guessing, because I didn't have the numbers in front of me, and I always go.
Now we have the whole enchilada.
There we go.
Now we got the numbers we got from the,
Yeah.
So if this were to go forward, when would it be able to get started?
they said it would take about a month to get everything
That's
loaded
pretty
and
good.
set up for us. to move
Okay.
forward.
So I've got a couple questions. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. How do we know that residents want this? And is there a way of asking people to sign up ahead of time? And if we see that only like 10% of people sign up, then we don't do it? I'm just afraid if we get all this and we sign a contract and all of a sudden we get, I don't know, 10% of the community that wants it. And then we're spending this money for 10% of the community.
I would totally disagree with you. We have not, in the 30 years I've been in local government, what the public wants is more. They want instant notification. We get complaints all the time because they didn't know. If we have the train stuff or something happen.
Yeah, we received the letter.
Minute
from-
power goes out, we're getting those calls.
Okay?
It's
Alright.
constant. The public isn't saying to me, I want less. They're saying to me, I want more. That was one of the things we noted when there was trouble with us notifying people with the information regarding the packet and the agenda. They want to know that stuff.
Right,
So
and I
we've had a
agree.
better response. So emergency situations, they want it from us. We have had a constant.
I'd like to add something else. We're looking at $2,500 to have a whole other way of just reaching our residents very, very quickly. And I can tell you when something does happen in the village, I get a lot of texts. This way, we can be proactive with our residents
And I see that.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I think it's, you know, it's sort of money well spent to just get everybody in the loop, you know?
I guess the other thing is what constitutes this alert to our pump?
Well,
Like,
that's
what are we gonna
something,
get it
that's
for?
something we can work with the board to establish a list of items that really come.
And
to
we've
that.
spoken with other villages, you know, as we were saying, it's things like there's a
But we-
water main break, there's a, you know, gonna be construction, there's gonna be, you know, things that reroute your car, you know, there was a the roads blocked for whatever
Snow,
reason,
you know,
you know.
The
major
leak delay,
snowstorm.
the sewer bill.
The sewer
They
bill.
could have done it on
is
the
fabulous.
sewer
If
bill,
we
would
could have
have,
sent that,
that would have made a
put out.
difference.
we might have saved a lot of pain.
I know,
Here, writing checks.
Yeah.
I think this past,
Okay.
yeah,
other things have happened that people have wanted to talk
Yeah.
to us about, so.
No, I hate, you don't, let me say, we don't want to use the system, how do I put this?
Abuse.
Because you don't want those
it
situations.
doesn't work that way.
You want to
Every
use
single,
this as.
every
Yeah.
single community I've spoken with, every single mayor at NICOM that has this, they say it's one of the best things they've ever done for their
Yeah.
community.
Do any of our?
I've never
villages
heard,
have
and
it?
just to finish my thought, I've never heard any mayor that I've ever spoken with about this say, one of the worst things we ever did, our residents hate it. I've never once heard that. They're like, this was so great because now we can real time be proactive, alerting our community as needed.
So what other
I think
villages have it? Do we have any other villages in
Yeah,
the
well,
area?
I know Fairport.
Yeah,
Fairport has
Fairport
it?
has it,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, anywhere else?
Yeah.
that you
Not
know
off the top of my
Okay.
head, I know everybody, some have it and some are considering it.
Okay.
It's
All right.
becoming
See,
standard.
there's questions.
Communication is becoming so much more than it was.
Oh, yeah, I totally
even
understand.
2 years ago, 5 years ago. COVID has really made a change into that. Now they want the Zoom, they want the alerts, they want that. I think the schools were one of the first that really went to the alerts. with
Yeah, the schools,
closings
yeah.
and changes like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just been now people expect it.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Thank you
heard
for
many
those.
times a lockdown drill that my kids. pull,
Exactly,
that I love when they.
exactly.
us know that
You
they're
you
doing-
know, real time. Yeah, Steve,
Uh,
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Well, when we did the contact card,
Mhm.
when the
Yep.
texts were coming in and well over 90% of the people wanted notifications for everything.
That's
Okay,
true. They
great.
always sign up for everything.
Okay,
You're
that's
absolutely,
awesome.
thank you
Thank you.
for bringing that up.
Thank
I
you.
forgot that.
Easily over 90%
Yeah.
said all communication.
Yeah,
Okay.
more
that's
the
good to know.
better.
All right,
Yeah,
there you
I'm
go.
sorry, David, you were gonna.
Yeah,
add
we have-
something,
I think we have over almost 900 people on our current
which is
contract.
fabulous.
Great. Okay,
And the last thing I was gonna say, in terms of the fact that this is a text-based system, you have wide adoption by every age group. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you're a
yes.
senior citizen, all the way
Yes,
down to
That's true.
18-year-old, everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah.
Not everyone is checking their email, so this is a great way to.
It's one more way to make a connection with
Yeah.
people. I think it's great.
So
okay.
what do you need?
So we need a motion
I need authorization to
to
sign
authorize.
a contract.
Quick question, did we get feedback from Text My Gov? You know that?
No,
Did
we
they?
didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
Okay, is there a motion? Somebody?
Make a motion for Dorothea to sign the Catalyst contract for, is it 4 years?
I think it's 3.
Well, you have
Oh,
4
yeah.
years.
I think it's 4.
I'm looking at 4.
They do 3. I hope so.
With year one cost of $2,000 for software, $500 implementation fee, and then a 6% annual bump on the software fee for years 2 through 4.
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Stay tuned, as they say. Okay, next up, online emergency meeting attendance. We had directed Jeff to take a look at that. It is not a resolution. It's actually, you have the sample of the,
I passed on to Jeff, code related to it. It's
Okay.
actually a local law that needs to be passed.
okay,
So it's in his court.
okay, so. Don't feel on the hook. So basically.
Type of idea one.
I know, but basically, so you're gonna send it to us. We have flooded age anyway.
Tomorrow.
Hmm?
Should be at your desk.
Oh,
tomorrow,
okay,
so
thank you, okay,
The wage.
okay.
I think it's a week.
So this was just a notification that this is coming our way? Is that what this is on the agenda for?
It's actually an authorization for me to do the legislation, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not a
legislation
yeah.
for adoption. the board wants to move forward with.
And can we
the-
just have somebody explain what what we're looking at doing,
The,
allowing,
it's the virtual attendance.
It's allowing a trustee or two trustees to attend virtually, provided there are three here or at some other site where the public can attend.
And this came up because John, you were alerting the board, John, that, you were gonna be out for a bit. Laid up with a foot surgery.
did you already have it?
No, right.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I was
you're
like, okay.
right.
I was like, you're doing pretty good.
Fast recovery. And so it's like, geez, we really should circle back and take a look at this.
I guess
Yeah.
what's gonna constitute an emergency, I guess, do we have a definition of what that's gonna be in our local,
There will be one in the,
we'll be able to look at that?
That's why we're getting the draft. We are directing our attorney tonight
and.
to
Sorry.
give the board a draft. Am I correct?
Yeah, and there is an opportunity for the board to adopt procedures
Mhm.
for that. Or in furtherance of that code that you will adopt or not adopt. And have to. And you can tighten up the emergencies
Mhm.
situation.
Okay, okay.
So my understanding is that the code that we looked at once before, that this board, I believe we had turned down, you have an opportunity to amend and adjust, and you're gonna bring something back for us to look at.
Mhm.
This one?
Yeah, well, no,
Not this board.
no, not this one. You were not.
Last board.
The
The
village.
last, the last.
Last board did not allow Zoom attendance, right?
Because there was a concern over an emergency.
legislation- Yeah, there was legislation
Mhm.
that permitted it, that it was turned down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Jeff, you're basically gonna dig that up, look at it, see if anything needs to be changed, or are you starting fresh?
I've got one from Webster that looks very simple. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Webster's pretty
couple
clean.
that up and shoot it out and
Okay.
then you should.
See if we wanna say,
Yeah, Webster's had it implemented for a while, right?
Yeah, they adopted in 2022.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at
So it's been, almost 3 years.
the end of the day, I'd say if two people wanna bring a motion forward on something like this, then let's vote on it, whether or not we turn it down or thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, the motion will be to direct Jeff to draft it, and bring it back to the board.
Right, okay.
That's all
So-
that's all that is. So we haven't even looked at anything.
Yeah, right, let me pause on that. Jeff, understanding your contract, is this within the typical duties as our attorney, or is this an added cost?
Everything I do is billed hourly.
Billed hourly, okay, so then my question back to the board would be, are there three of us on this board that are inclined to want remote meetings? Because if not, let's save money and not have Jeff draft code.
I mentioned purely as fact that I don't know how long I'm gonna be out.
Okay,
I was told I can't put any weight on my foot for 6 to 8 weeks, so
Oh, gosh.
does that mean I can get a ride here and put my
Yes,
foot up?
you
I may
could.
be able to, I just don't know.
This doesn't know,
I
and so to
But
me, that constitutes essentially an emergency. It's a very unique circumstance for one of our trustees
So at a
in
minimum,
this instance.
like I say, if it's gonna incur cost, I'm okay,
And I'm gonna tell you, coming from as a healthcare provider, if you have an issue and you've had surgery to the point where you can't get around to come and sit at a meeting because of pain or disability, some sort, you're not gonna be able to be in a meeting. What's
yeah,
that?
I don't understand that.
I guess I don't understand. it. What-
Because our residents deserve 100% of our attention. We need to be here. This was discussed before. This is my opinion. You guys can
Understand.
vote on it.
Understand.
If John is too ill to be able to get a ride from me to pick him up and have him sit in the chair like he's gonna be sitting at home with his foot up watching TV, I just don't think that we need to open up that door again.
Well, I think there's a difference between illness and surgery. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think we should take a look at it. Other communities are doing this quite successfully. We know certainly during COVID, we ran all of our meetings remotely.
And that was needed.
Excuse me, I'm
Right.
just finishing my thought if I may. So, we ran all of our meetings remotely. It doesn't mean that every time we're gonna be running meetings remotely. There's just circumstances sometimes where people have their mental faculties, but they maybe can't get into to the meeting because there is an emergency.
And with
or-
missing one meeting,
Uh,
just like you're on vacation, is
So-
not a
so
big,
wait,
An emergency.
right. and is missing a meeting because you're on vacation, we still could do business.
It's an apple and an orange. It's an apple and an orange. It's.
Well, why don't we ask the board if we want to spend taxpayer money to have Jeff go and write
Yeah.
up something when we may not be interested in having Zoom participation?
Well, before we kind of jump on that, so you had mentioned the public wants, or the full something of the board or something, what was your?
We brought this up to our last board with the
Okay.
opportunity for people to zoom in and participate in the board. And
Yeah.
last time we.
No,
voted
I
no.
know.
Only an emergency,
Yeah.
only, it is so discreet, the legislation, and it's
That's
not.
why I'm saying
it's
I'd like
not-
to know
it's
what
not
these
being-
emergencies
To finish my
are.
thought,
What's the
to finish my thought, my understanding, Dorothea, Webster's had this in place.
Mhm.
And it has not been abused. In other words, it's just if there's a circumstance that does come up.
It's a circumstance.
So
And
what
we
is-
already have this with
so what
our
is
historic
What is
preservation board.
Webster's
Over
criteria?
me.
The code, I passed it on to Jeff.
So let's just look at Webster's criteria first before we ask Jeff to do this.
So, I don't know, I just think in 2025, we got Zoom, or we're using Zoom right now, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft Teams. Every school, every job, every corporation, I did multi-billion-dollar deals in banking over Zoom. I think you can still vote on something. I mean, again, our marathon meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago, the day before I had surgery.
Yeah.
I was sitting here, not happy to be, here, but I was here. I did everything. Would have been great to be able to do that from Zoom, to be able to have ice and everything like that and be at home, but I was here. And it hurt. I just don't, it's not like it's gonna be, hey, I wanna go on vacation. So I'm not gonna be here, and so I'll zoom in from the beach. That's not
That's not.
I'm assuming that's not-
about.
So I just want to see the criteria.
In the
Then
lease.
let's look at the criteria before we have Jeff spend time and money on putting something.
We've had him spend time on money and
A
things that
million.
this board has never taken action on. He's written more legislation that this board has absolutely tabled.
Well, then
And we
maybe
have,
we
hang on,
can
I'm
stop that.
finishing my
Maybe
thought,
we
please.
can
I'm
stop that.
finishing my thought, please. Thank you. Okay. Let's just send out the Webster law to the board. That's what
That's okay.
trustee Coe wants. Is
That's okay.
everybody in agreement with that?
I don't
That
know
we
the way it rushed
do
it.
nothing and we kick the can down the road again to the next agenda?
Well, before we do that,
But John, meanwhile, we have a trustee here who would want to participate if he could. It's just the circumstances right now for him. And I'm thinking, this is an opportunity for us to address situations like this where we can have a trustee who is a wonderful resource for this board, simply weigh in as needed if he can't make the meeting physically. That's all. That's all. I don't,
So my
I think we're really
understanding-
overthinking
My
this.
understanding is
Real quickly,
John
Jeff,
can
Jeff,
also
how much would it
zoom
cost?
in and listen, right? And if there's anything significant, you can
It
contact
seems
the
like it's off
bank.
the shelf. Pretty much.
Bucks.
$100.
So $100, I
I
think.
mean,
I'm
where are we
okay.
going with this?
Why can't we just send out the Webster thing and just revisit it? I don't know what the
It
urgency
seems
is.
like it would be more efficient.
I think it's more efficient. Again, we're transacting business. We're trying to move things
I want to keep
forward.
going.
And, this came in for $100. We get it customized for what our village needs. It goes right back to the board and we can move it forward. Part of this is being able to move business forward for our community. I'm fine with that. I think it's money well spent. Do
Okay, so what do you,
you want to, what, we need to vote on that now? How many people want to spend $100 for Jeff to review this?
I'm not gonna not do it if, I don't know, John, your perspective on virtual meetings. I mean,
I'm more than willing to attend when I can.
right.
That's the whole point of the legislation
So
now.
if it becomes problematic, I might miss a meeting. That's fine.
No, I'm sorry, let me say it's
Perfectly okay with it.
Are you inclined to adopt a law to allow you to attend virtually, or are you inclined not to? If I may,
Brought it up.
I don't know if he did.
Yes,
Well, you
brought it up the
He
last.
did, okay, so you would like to attend
I
virtually?
said that I'm not gonna be here. And the community where I work, they allow their board members to participate.
Okay,
But again, if it's gonna be an issue or a hassle,
no,
I'll drop it.
no, this
Doesn't
is good to know. So you would be inclined to attend virtually if you could, I believe some flexibility
Believe me, I would rather be here in person.
I understand.
It's a
Okay.
fundamental misunderstanding of what how this legislation
I don't think. there
would
is.
be created. In other words, it's not, gee, I have a hangnail, I can't make the meeting. It's, there's an emergency, there's a circumstance that really, I can participate, but I simply cannot be there physically because of the emergency or in this instance, something medical. Nothing more than that, and that can be factored in, and that's what we're asking our attorney to look at, to parse,
Yep.
parse that
What I didn't
down.
know until I just asked John is
Mhm.
whether fine to attend
Understood.
virtually and what his perspective on that was. And so I didn't want to use John's circumstance as an opportunity to revisit something that could have been done a little bit potentially
Mhm.
slower or with greater conversation. I'm perfectly fine having Jeff write something up because it means John can
Yeah.
attend in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And John's inclined to move in that direction anyway. Obviously, Lisa and I are on record saying we like people to be in our seats.
We all
To me,
do.
I'm looking at this.
They all love that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying that they don't want to be in their seat. If they have an
Yeah.
emergency, that's out of your control.
I'm not trying to be arbitrary.
Not even close.
So I'd say it's okay, Jeff, if you got the authority here, go ahead and
Yeah,
bring it forward next time.
In the
You need a
meantime-
motion?
in the meantime,
I want a
send out the
motion.
Webster, can you send out the
Yes, I can
Webster?
send out-
Okay. I make,
That's great.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
okay, I make a motion to have Jeff, draft the Webster language.
I was due for free.
Is there a dollar amount that we want to put in there?
No,
No,
just
okay.
like Jeff
just-
doesn't work. I'll second it.
okay, we have a motion, and a second, roll call, please.
We have a question from the public. Do you want me to call the roll call first, or you want to hear from the public?
Oh,
They happen simultaneously.
wow, no kidding.
Good timing.
Okay,
Sure.
Mr. Goodman, you're allowed to speak.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
hi, Peter.
Hi, I just wanted to add a comment, just from the perspective of just a resident, I think of someone who might be a reservist in the military and maybe doesn't have any expectation to be deployed and runs for village council and is able to be on the board, but has a situation where they have to be somewhere else because of an emergency. So I think the very idea of not even just being open to having virtual attendance, as long as someone is gainfully engaged in the meeting, is actually could potentially hurt the reputation and willingness for people in the future to get involved. So I just wanted to share that perspective as a veteran myself. And, I think everything we can do to make people interested in this public service you're doing now and in the future, I think is imperative.
Peter, thank you for your comment, appreciate
Peter.
that. Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Okay, trustee Marshall, trustee Wills.
Aye.
Trustee Coe,
No,
trustee Linda,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
but you will send out that Webster
We
thing
want
to us. Thank you.
Yes.
No, I can go.
Okay. Why don't we switch over just quickly to the public hearing? Want to just get that? Yeah, sure. And this is the Charter Communications franchise agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on this before we open the hearing? From anybody?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. On page 9, section 13.1 talks about the PEG access or the public education and government. And I'd like to know where this exists in the current system that they operate. Page 9, section.
Yeah, no, I see that. Is that the one that the town uses?
It
There
might
used
be,
to
it
be a
might.
channel 12, but I haven't seen anything
I-
advertised on Spectrum in a long time for this function.
That's a good point, I mean, I see, I don't even have any cable or anything, so I don't even, I wouldn't even know. I know the town has access.
There was another on page 11, section 15.3 talks about minor violations. And somebody has to make a determination of minimal negative impact. And I think that's very nebulous. You could lose the last 2 minutes of the World Series, and that could be very impactful to somebody as opposed to missing a whole day. So, to me, that's just a very, very unclear what that means.
Like, no, I don't know. Jeff, do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, I don't know. I'm not familiar with.
What is that, John?
It was, the minor violations is on page 11, 15.3.
This is something that we've renewed consistently or not?
So
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to understand the.
I mean, I think a judge would interpret this as fact driven, so that depending on what was lost and how it was lost, that might be the answer to whether or not we could revoke the franchise.
So it's like case by case
It
basis
would
in
be.
terms of
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
So missed the last two minutes of the World Series, but it turns out with every other cable supplier lost it for a power outage if they get a cable facility outside the stadium. I don't think you're gonna revoke the franchise for that.
Oh, I see.
I speak more as a customer.
Yeah, no, I agree. You may as a subscriber have to say, look, the Carver will go out my bill this month.
Mhm.
Okay, those are the only questions, and I'm okay going forward.
Okay, no, I think they're good questions. I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't have any,
Make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the franchise.
So wait, don't we-
No, we got public
You have
hearing.
to open the hearing.
The
Make a
hearing,
motion.
then you got the
Public hearing.
rest.
Second,
We have a motion to open the public hearing in a second. Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lindback,
Sure.
trustee Marshall,
Sure.
trustee Wills,
Aye.
trustee Co.
Hi.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye. The public hearing is now open on this matter. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to the agenda item, which is the Charter Communications franchise agreement? Is there anyone online wishing to comment or speak?
Not at this time.
Okay. Beating down the doors.
Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Wills.
Aye.
Trustee Lindback,
aye.
trustee Co.
hi.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, it's back to the board. Is there any additional discussion or we can entertain a motion?
There's a resolution involved.
Oh, that's right. There's the resolution. Thank you. Where are we going with this now? We have to,
You would either read it or.
I have to read the whole thing?
Pass it. I sent it.
John wants to read it. John's a better reader.
I'll make a motion in the matter of granting a cable television franchise held by Spectrum Northeast LLC in the village of Pittsford, County of Monroe, New York. The resolution is an application has been duly made to the board of the village of Pittsford, County of Monroe, New York by Spectrum Northeast LLC, an indirect subsidiary of Charter Communications, Inc., parenthetical charter, a limited liability company organized and existing in good standing under the laws of the state of Delaware, doing business at 2604 Seneca Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York, 14305, for the approval of a renewal agreement for Charter's cable television franchise for 15 years, commencing with the date of approval by the Public Service Commission. The franchise renewal agreement would bring the franchise into conformity with certain provisions of the Federal Cable Communication Policy Act of 1984 as amended in certain court rulings. The public hearing was held on the village of Pittsford on the 14th of October at 6:45 PM. And notice of the hearing was published in the
Uh,
Honey, I Falls Sentinel.
Honeyway Falls Sentinel on. Oh, God. Now therefore, the Board of the Village of Pittsford finds that One Spectrum Northeast LLC has substantially complied with the material terms and conditions of its existing franchise and with the applicable law. And two, Spectrum Northeast LLC has the financial, legal, and technical ability to provide these services, facilities, and equipment as set forth in its proposal attached. And three, Spectrum Northeast LLC can reasonably meet the future cable-related community needs and interests, taking into account the cost of meeting such needs and interests. Be it further resolved that the Board of the Village of Pittsford hereby grants the cable television franchise of Spectrum Northeast LLC and the Village of Pittsford for 15 years, commencing with the date of approval by the Public Service Commission and expiring 15 years hence. Be it further resolved that the Board of the Village of Pittsford hereby confirms acceptance of this franchise renewal agreement. The foregoing having received a blank vote, thereby declare adopted. I'll make that motion.
What do you say?
I second.
Okay,
Okay, we have a motion and a second for this resolution that John so beautifully read.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
trustee Co.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye,
motion passes.
okay. Next up, the updates on,
Yeah,
from David on
Okay.
bicycle and pedestrian sidewalk initiatives.
so this should be pretty quick. So since our last meeting, had a chance to connect with Jeff and work on additional sections within 176. First and foremost, made some updates to the definition section, so section 176-23. Every definition you see in here now matches in some way or fashion directly linked to the latest legislation language of the New York State Senate. So that way we're matching with the state, whatever they have passed, we would be good to go. So you can take a look at that in your leisure, actual leisure.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah.
Do they have the current one? 'Cause I don't think the one in the packet's the current,
Oh,
is it?
Yes.
The one you gave me,
Is that the one I,
the one Dave gave me.
yeah, okay, it is, sorry.
Yep. So those are the definitions. If you go to section 176-24,
mhm.
so this is precautions for sidewalk use. So effectively what I wanted to do, and you'll see there, is update 24-C to account for, I think, right, or currently in our legislation, it talks about riding your bike at dusk or dawn.
Mhm.
And it has no,
Yeah.
discussion about actual safety equipment that you need, whether that's lights, distance that they need to be
Mhm.
bright, LED reflective clothing,
Mhm.
none of that's in there. So, I wanted to make sure that we have some sort of definition of what it actually means to have safety equipment as you're
Yeah, I
riding a
love
bike.
that, that's great.
With, minimum standards, so that way, you got a kid who's riding their bike in December, November or whatever, before going to school. I think we haven't changed the clocks yet, it's dark, this kid actually doesn't get hit by a car. So, again, you can look at that on your own. And then the next part would be amending section 176-25A. So that is restrictions on sidewalk use. So there it is, again, updating effectively what vehicles are allowed to be on the towpath. So again, currently, there's no discussion of what an electric bike is or an electric scooter. Effectively, that says bicycles, e-bikes, e-scooters, all that's prohibited. Next, in 176-25D. Now this is where I want to get you guys' thoughts. I just kind of wanted to chuck this in there as a new part to the actual legislation, is adding a dismount requirement in certain districts that are close to the main kind of business district. So I probably should put a zoning map in there.
I was just gonna say, we
Mhm.
would
Yeah.
want to have right in that
Exactly.
section, the zoning map for
So-
that, so people could identify it.
But effectively, it is the TDD, which is,
Transitional downtown.
think of
Traditional downtown
Lincoln,
development.
Lincoln right near Colliers, kind of that starting area. Through the, let's see, VCB. So again, that is the Village Center Business Area, think Main Street, Monroe, State, kind of four corners. The LOR, which again is kind of closer to the, what is it, Pittsburgh dock, or, that kind of side area where all the law firms and stuff like that. So that is the limited office residential area, and then finally the VGB. So that would be effectively right where the dairy is located, and I'll
Village
tell
Gateway.
you, yeah, Village Gateway. In the summertime, when people are going to the dairy for ice cream, it is packed on the sidewalk with people with bikes, or excuse me, with babies, people walking to get stuff. And when you have the bikers come through, trying to come through on the sidewalk, they get mad because they can't get through. The pedestrians get mad because they're saying, why are you here? So adding some sort of limitation as it relates to, you can have your bike, but just dismount, walk it. The next one would be, and again, this is another potential contentious area, 176-25, a new E that would effectively put an actual age restriction on who's allowed to be on the sidewalks. So this would add that effectively, if you're a child under the age of 12, generally you're required to be on the sidewalk. You would not be able to ride your bike in the street unless you're accompanied by somebody who's 18 or over, so a parent, or guardian or whatever it is. And then people who are over the age of 25 or 12 will ride a bike either on a usable bike lane, or if a usable bike lane, Mikey lane, has not
I
been
yeah.
near the right lane hand curb or edge of the roadway, or upon a usable right hand shoulder. Effectively, you need to be able to be in the street or very close to kind of the curb as you're riding your bike. Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we need to vet this with parents too,
Yes.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that, so, I mean, because,
100%.
how do we,
Exactly.
yeah, I see where you're going with it though.
And then the final one, and I know Jeff, you had a question about this. So 176-25, adding a D for effectively saying that class 2 and class 3 electric bikes are just in no way allowed riding on the sidewalks. My view for that was that if we are allowing children under the age of 12, they should not be able to have the bikes that effectively have the throttle on them and can go over 25 miles an hour. Think of New York City, the seamless delivery person, zooming around on a scooter. You don't want that on the sidewalk. That can cause a lot of damage to somebody if they hit you. You don't want your kid driving one of those. And since those, based off of section 176-25E would have an age limit on there, you don't want the 12-year-olds.
I have a question, because I think New York state law prohibits any electric vehicle on a
Correct.
sidewalk, any,
No matter how old you are.
no matter how old you are.
And
So-
that's an issue.
No.
You've got a lot of 10-year-olds.
That's why-
Flying through on
Okay.
bikes.
No, so I was just gonna say, this is different from the state law,
So class 1, theoretically,
right?
you can
Yeah.
buy, you can have. So that's the only reason.
Yeah, I know
I
where you're
don't have it
going
on
with it,
there.
I know, I'm wondering if we should reference the New York state law in this
And that,
as well,
and
kind of
Jeff,
belt and suspenders.
and Jeff made a good point that this makes it seem like an e-scooter is allowed.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
That's-
I see.
That's why-
Yeah, so maybe it's sort of how we,
So somewhere either,
yeah, I see where you're going with it. though.
yeah,
He needs to have scooters in there.
exactly.
Mhm.
So that pretty much what I wanted to do was get my literal first draft,
Yeah,
and
let's
then
get out
hopefully
there, yeah.
for you, for us, when we have our kind of working sessions.
I looked at it and I thought it was very well crafted and presented. And I almost got hung up on, boy, the enforcement's gonna be terrible.
Yep.
But thinking about it more, I think it's more important to have the underlying legislation that says we've got it in place. We
Exactly.
might not be able to enforce, but if something
But it's
happens,
here,
we've got the basis.
Well, and
exactly.
right, because you have to start somewhere.
Well, that's what I say.
Yeah,
If-
so you're absolutely, I'm agreeing, I'm saying I'm
Yeah.
agreeing with you, because you have to start somewhere, and we're already having some internal discussions about how we can enforce and what that could look like
Yeah.
and penalties for
Yeah.
not complying. Which we know other communities are looking at, you know, some of them just impound right away,
Yeah.
you're done.
Which is
So-
section 176
Yeah.
27.
Yeah,
That's the actual penalties. I
Yeah.
haven't used that yet, but I think we all. should.
Yeah.
That's a
yeah,
David, this looks awesome. I just, I want to say that the enforcement piece, I think that once we have this in place, that everyone can enforce it, right? So residents now know what the rules are. So when I'm walking down the street and I see somebody, I can just say, hey, guys, you gotta slow down, or you gotta get off your bike. And they won't say to me, well, no, I don't. I'll say, yeah, you do, because we have it, right?
Really just
So
fast.
now residents themselves can help with enforcement. There's not much we can do about it, but at least we can let
well, there's
people
an
know.
educational
Right,
component
there's
that we've always
education that we
spoken
all
about.
can do.
Yeah.
This would be a key article for a newsletter.
Yes, exactly.
That's where we're
Exactly.
going,
Yeah.
that's the whole point, you got it,
And-
you're, everybody's really on the same page, I'm loving
So
that.
David, this is another question I have, because one of my yoga students brought this up, and you know him very well. He's an avid biker, and Renee Sisters.
Yeah,
And his concern is he rides his bike to work a lot, back and
Yep.
forth. So he says he knows enough that when people are on the sidewalk, he'll shoot off into the street and pass them and then go back on the sidewalk. He's concerned that he doesn't feel safe on our roads, even some of the busy districts, and he doesn't want us to restrict him when no one else is on the sidewalk. He says, I'm old enough and wise enough to understand.
well, then there's no
sidewalk
one there to
path."
enforce it anyway, if
True.
no one's there.
He's like, but
I
if
mean,
you start
know, no harm,
passing
no foul.
legislation, he goes, I feel bad because I'm breaking the law, but I'm doing it, with regard to pedestrians. So that's
I
kind
don't
of
know,
where he brought that. up.
I think it's a good
You know what I mean?
point, but,
Yeah.
you know, here
So-
we are,
This
here we
would
are.
be the
Exactly.
exception.
This is
Yeah.
about public safety
Right.
in the largest sense of the
Right, right.
word, and so we start with that.
Yeah.
We start with,
But I just want to let you know, because
Yeah.
like,
I think that's a good,
If I may, what if you just added either a sight line or 50 feet of pedestrians? So you could essentially say all these rules apply within,
how do you enforce
how
that?
do you enforce it anyway?
Well, but I don't know, I don't know.
I mean,
We may want to think about that, I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Yeah, we might have to think about that.
If you are 50 feet, 100 feet from a pedestrian, have the respect to step off your bike and walk along with everybody else, don't zoom around. What is that distance that you're expected to dismount? And I think that's an easy way to convey when there's people around, pedestrians around,
You're right,
you don't ride a bike.
Yeah.
Right? And you can convey it with, honestly, a couple sentences. Within 25 feet of a pedestrian, on any sidewalk in the village, dismount your bike. Or go on the road. Just an idea to.
No, just think.
Totally. Yeah.
Right,
If you
pedestrians
convey it
always have the right of way.
They should.
Acknowledge
Okay.
that, right?
Just a
Pedestrians
thought,
always have the right of way.
again, this.
Maybe that's in our legislation somewhere.
So yeah, I think, so it's a great point, also a great point, and I know Renee, the
Yeah.
same way,
Yeah.
it's true, we want to be a village where you don't want a bunch of cars, you want more people riding bikes, they don't feel safe, so
Right.
also something we have to think about. The other thing is, I think it's good that we're doing this now, it's going to get colder, and we're not going to actually have bikes out as much, because then, as we get into the spring of next
Right,
year.
we'll have this all
hopefully
done.
done,
Yeah. And educated.
we can work with, hopefully, I
The
think,
schools and.
the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, the schools, local
Right.
Yes,
businesses.
that's,
and let them,
we've all discussed that, I
You
think
know.
that's just great,
Thanks, David.
So,
100%, no, that's a
To the comment on where to ride, and not to ride. You currently bifurcate by age 12 and under 12 and over. When restricting where people can ride the bike, you mentioned the multiple districts, and that's for everybody regardless of age. And I think I'm fine personally with a mandatory get off the bike in the TDD, down on Shane Place for sure, right, on the towpath. As far as the other districts are concerned, I'm generally okay, maybe the LOR. But mostly the TDD is where I think the density of traffic, you gotta be really careful about. The rest of it, maybe it's that line of sight type of consideration. But I think those main drags, a lot of bicyclists over the age of 12 probably don't want to be on the road.
No one will want to be on this is what, having done the programs in other municipalities. Doesn't matter how many bike lanes you put in, how you paint the bicycle on the road, and here's your little lane. If you don't feel safe, you'll never use it.
Yeah,
Right.
You will never
Mhm.
use
and
it.
that's kind of what Adam said.
So, oh, yeah, yeah, no, exactly. So, we just have to do the best we can, really working with what we have.
one of the limitations on,
Yeah.
width of our streets and all that kind of stuff.
Understanding that, you know,
And so it's one of those things where I get it, again, I'm a huge biker, motorcyclist. You just drive all that stuff in New York City, talk about being
Mhm.
oh, yeah.
a place where you're, um. You know. Sorry that they feel that way, it's one of those things where it's like, we do have to kind of do
Yeah.
what we can here,
Yeah.
work with what we can.
So I think expanding out into the TDD is pretty straightforward, in terms of walking the bike will be on the road.
Oh, yeah,
It's just a question of how.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
districts- And maybe this is workshop type stuff.
oh, exactly, yeah, so hopefully with a workshop, we can.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is this something you want me to put in shoot up for a workshop meeting?
Well,
Are
don't
we
we already
ready for
have a
that?
workshop
And
scheduled?
well, you have one tomorrow, but I'm saying you're not gonna be able to hit only so many items for your workshop, so what I'm saying is. You want me to put it on a list for?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hopper, definitely.
Yeah.
'Cause you're,
So like-
you've got a lot
Oh,
going.
exactly, and I'd love to get
You've got a
people
lot going. Yeah,
opinions on it, yeah, so,
no, this is great. Thank you.
okay.
Okay, anything else to add?
Oh, the only other
Yeah.
thing was, Canal Court. So that was the one thing that I added for what I want to get done before the next meeting
Mhm.
was meeting with the Western New York Canal Court
Mhm.
representative, so.
She called back today, so we
Okay,
can
okay.
start, get going.
Yeah, that's it.
Sidewalks in the mixed use Erie canals, and you didn't include? So you mentioned the TDD, VCB, LOR and VGB, but you didn't include mixed use Erie canal.
So like, Northfield Common and,
Just the sidewalks along Shone Place.
Yeah, we would want Eric, you're right, BC.
yeah, but that's all just
Yeah.
here,
No, it isn't.
ready.
No, only the topaz. So.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, you need to add that.
Okay.
Yes,
Again,
yes,
throw it in the conversation.
correct, exactly.
Well,
But-
but let's think about that, because if you have bikers that come down on the canal and they can't go on the towpath, where do they go?
The road. That's what you're asking them to do in all these other
Which they-
districts.
Yeah, okay.
So at least.
Yeah, but I mean, just to define it a little more here. Okay, okay.
Yeah, but that's good.
In fact, of any of these roads, Shane Place is the safest to require.
It would be the safest
Sidewalk.
for sure for people, except for all the cars going through. Okay, thank you. Next up, this is the Bureau Services for the window wells where we've had drainage issues coming into our wonderful historic building.
This is the engineering. work,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
did
the
you have-
contract.
Did you have any challenges with the contract? Jeff? No?
And it's Bureau, they know this building and, they're on the case, as they say.
I had no problem with it.
Yeah,
I didn't have any problems with you.
yeah. So is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the contract as presented to Barrow.
I second.
Gotcha.
Roll call?
Okay, trustee Coe,
Hi.
trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Limback,
Right.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Real quick, since we're on Barrow, I heard from Barrow. We heard yesterday, we have a change order for the front porch. As they were working, they uncovered an issue with the pillar where they go into the base. And they have to put in these new, what do they call them?
Plinth.
Plinths.
Flint,
Plinth.
it's a good Scrabble word.
There you go. So it's a change order of $8,247.20. Kind of new when we opened up the porch, we very well could find other things that need to be done. So this is in addition to the existing.
And, yeah, and just expand on that, because they were looking really at a single pillar initially. That, but when they open up the pillars, they realized. If there ever was a time to take care of it properly for like the next 100 years, this would be the time. When everything's opened up on the porch, so every single pillar is properly stabilized. That's really where we're going with this, so it's $8,000.
$8,247.20 is the change order plus time and material. Yeah,
On top of that.
Yeah,
Any of that covered by the grant?
Yeah.
a good portion of this is covered by the grant,
yeah, a lot of it is.
but I think this will be covered. Could be covered under our expenses in our current budget.
Do you know what amount is covered by the grant,
Almost the full amount of the
Mhm.
project. It's almost
including
50,000.
this change order?
No,
No, that's what she was
Well, but
just saying.
This,
about
She was-
almost.
this kind of fun, yeah.
Oh, you
We
can-
have the funds, yeah.
Yeah, we have no choice, but, I think almost 50,000 of the project is covered by the grant.
Mhm.
All right, and we don't have to go out to bid, this is basically.
No, this is our bidder.
Oh, this is the bidder.
This is a change.
We're in the middle of it. This is
Yeah.
what they discovered. It's a change order. You know, we went through this even with
Right.
Ramsey and, you know,
Once you open up something, it's what
Yeah, okay.
comes
you
up.
know, if you're 170
But
years
I
old.
can't authorize it. We need them to move along because they want the
Yep.
porch done before candlelight night.
Yep, so I make motion to approve the change order as presented.
I second.
Okay, trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
One question on a barrel estimate. On page 2, they talk about hazardous materials ID and treatment. They say that they're not responsible for an asbestos survey. Do we need one here, Steve? Have we done
We
that in the
almost-
past? For the window wells, have we done an asbestos survey of the whole building?
We
There was a
put,
special survey done
Yeah, there was.
back a ways, correct?
Yes. There
Well-
was one done in this room. There was one
it's done per
per
project.
project, right?
Every time you touch an area, you have to do an
I
asbestos.
understand.
We haven't touched the window wells, so we will have an asbestos.
Okay, so
I will,
that's
it's
gonna happen.
automatic.
Yeah, that just
All
kicks
right,
in.
it just-
Yeah, we did one for,
I didn't know if
the
we had
porch,
to authorize the survey as well as the.
it's in my purview too.
Okay, all right.
I usually have them done immediately
Okay.
because
Yeah.
you don't want to get
Not good.
asbestos.
Yeah, we've already had them done this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
they
front
just did
porch,
them
I
at our
had it
porch.
done, and yeah,
Yeah,
the bathrooms downstairs, we had.
part of us doing business.
They want you to think I wasn't reading.
I'm
Very impressive.
so happy you read it.
Okay, next up is the setting of the public hearing on the local law on lighted village signage.
So I just have a couple of questions. Can I ask the questions now?
Yeah, no, that's.
So,
yeah, sure.
Jeff, on H, right here at the bottom, the one small open close sign. So these, I'm assuming, are the businesses that are close to the street so cars can see the open close sign that is not illuminated. So these are non-illuminated open close signs. Is that what that refers to?
Yep.
Okay, so right now we're allowing open signs that are internally illuminated for businesses that are set far back 150 feet. Is that what we've got in here
Mhm.
from the street?
And,
And I,
and
right.
you see,
Right. But other than that, for instance, all the State Street businesses, they cannot have an illuminated open sign.
internally.
Right. Okay, got it. Thank you. That's my only question.
Yeah, okay.
Mm,
Any other questions or comments on this piece of legislation? Or did we set a date? What date?
2 weeks from now.
October 28th,
Looking good.
6:30.
6:30. Make a motion to set the public hearing for the new light law for 28th, 6:30.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Limbeck.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
On the topic of signs, we all are of the understanding that at some point soon, we're gonna talk about signs broadly in our workshop.
That is tomorrow. It's on the
Signs
docket tomorrow.
list.
Is signs on the list?
Yeah.
Yep. I went back to action items and different things and then signs were on here. So there's
On it.
lucky
Do
winner.
we have an agenda for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Alexandra sent it out.
I didn't.
I didn't see any.
Yeah,
Oh, then maybe she'll send out first thing tomorrow. I thought she
Yeah,
did too.
we'll have it.
All right.
It was a hectic day.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, she was sending it out.
Yeah, no, because she had spoken about it with me, so I know she got things together
Yeah,
for
you gave her
everybody.
some material.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so next up is Shane Place boat docking. And I'm bringing this to the board. We had and have had circumstances, and I know Jason, you can speak to this as well as Steve. And it happened when we had the canal bicentennial event where we were trying to dock our historic boats. And there was this pontoon boat that had been there. We couldn't contact, we couldn't find out what was going on. And so it was this mad scramble to kind of get all the boats squished in and docked for our celebration, which was absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. So I thought it'd be, worthwhile to bring it back to the board to maybe take a look at sort of tightening this up. And maybe, if you're docking overnight, that you must register with the village. You can do it online, we'd have some capacity to
QR
do that.
code.
Yeah, something like that, and I'm just talking through this with you. I know Fairport has certain policies for it, and they're larger than we are, and they have more amenities, and they have a dock master. But, and I'll send out that material to you, because I'm still doing some research on this. I think we do need to tighten it up, register it. If you just leave your boat there, we should have the capacity to fine, or the dock masters typically are enabled to move the boat. You are not allowed to lock up your boat so no one can move it. Yeah, because, you know, you're dealing with boats going in and out of a harbor or docking situation, and it's literally a fluid situation, unintended. You know, so the dock master can make that determination to just relocate the boat out of an area of high traffic. Not that we would have a dock master, but we probably could sort out how we would manage it on our end. We certainly don't have, it's not as big as.
What do they have across the way at the Port of Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
You register, you register overnight, and it's worked pretty well, I think, with the registration, because they really, keep on it, you know, but I think we need a little bit more. It seems as though there's been sort of this culture of, yeah, we'll just leave our boat over here by Aladdin's for 3 months, or, you know. And I think we need to tighten it up a little bit. So I just wanted to bring it back to everybody. And I'll be doing some research and sending stuff out and getting comments from you.
On John's point, so when somebody, and it's just my ignorance of canal boating, when somebody says, okay, I want to park here overnight or for 3 days or whatever it is, what does that kind of paperwork look like? Like, what do we?
There's a form that, you know, it's just a form, you fill it out, you have to have your name, your owner, how to be contacted, how long you're staying. There's dock fees, you know, I mean, they're not a lot,
It's not
but I
like,
think.
it's not like it's a background check and like. oh,
No, it's just,
Okay.
I mean, literally, you're traveling down a canal system, so it's like in Fairport, it's like if your boat's up to 16 feet, you pay, you know, $10. If it's 16 to 24 feet, you pay 15, you know,
Okay,
you know,
yeah,
that kind of
pretty
thing.
efficient.
Yeah, so it's just a way of monitoring who's kind of coming and going with these boats.
Gotcha.
And so they're not just staying there. And it seems to be a pretty, you know, straightforward kind of system once you get it up and running, yeah.
It
So,
is literally, I'm on the site now, it's boater name, cell number, boat name, boat reg number,
Yeah.
make and model, expected departure, additional comments.
And what's the charge, Dave? Does it say charge? Yeah.
There's no
no
charge for, you get 2 72-hour stays over
Yeah.
a 30-day period.
Yeah.
of time.
No,
yeah, for the town,
But we could essentially.
because
mimic
they don't
that.
really have amenities. When you have amenities, that's really when you.
Oh, that's.
And see, and they're also all.
They have electric, don't they?
Just to finish my thought, they're also, you know, it's defraying the cost of a dock master as well, you know, to have these fees for coming and going, because they're having someone there at least part-time, you know, sort of facilitating everything. We're not at that point, you know, I think we just need to turn it up.
Yeah, we can start with what
Yeah,
they're doing.
For this.
Yeah,
Made some minimum.
I like that. It's a good idea.
Okay, yeah, so I'll be doing some more research, just want to kind of give everybody a heads up. I'll be sending stuff out for comment, you know, just to get some ideas.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, next up, naming of the leaf machine, a
Okay.
brand new leaf machine. We're
Alright.
so excited.
So it sounds like, Jason, the machine is here. Is it like under a tarp somewhere?
It is.
Wait, they're kinda
Unveil
unveil it?
With DPW.
Okay, okay, perfect. So that's great thing. We have this amazing new leaf machine. So what I was thinking was, how can we have a fun way to tie in what is a, you know, hopefully a very long-lived capital expenditure that we've had to also improving as it relates to some of the communication aspects that we're trying to do in the village. So here's and I know there were some concerns about if we just keep it to kids, like what kind of names would kids come up with? So I tried to come up with a new process that answers all that stuff. So 2 steps. The first would be effectively allowing any village household, so any address, can submit 1 entry to, you know, we can give it a period of time. We can say, hey, for the next week.
Yeah,
You can go to the website, you can, you know, go to this link, put in your address, your name, put your name, or your suggested, you know, leaf machine name. Great. Provide some rules in there about like, hey, you know, no profanity, you know, hey, make sure it's only this number of characters, whatever you want to put to make it so it can fit on this machine. And I was looking down, I think the refuse program feedback page that you guys have is a great starting point for at least how, you know, something you could like kind of mimic to, you know, collect that information. So that way, it's, I don't know if they could just duplicate it, I'm assuming they pretty much could, to create another page specifically for this
Mhm.
contest thing, the event. After that time period's done, we compile all the information, have a very democratic process of sending out just all the names that have been received. Don't attach, the person or the household that contributed the name, make it blind, so that people can go back to the website and select from, drop down menu or whatever it is, which name that they like the most. Whichever name gets the most votes, the village has chosen, the villagers all get to have a voice. And then we now get to put that on the machine. Whoever won gets to have their photo with it, blah, blah, blah. Cool process. The other thing is, I'm thinking this is a great time, especially now that we're moving, Catalyst, the village email newsblast, to have some sort of link, hey, make sure, by the way, if you're doing this,
Yep.
it's a great time to sign up for the village newsletter,
Text alert.
text alerts. If you're collecting certain information anyways, why not do it all at once, so a resident doesn't have to do multiple different avenues? That'd be it.
My only question. 800 households, you might get the same name like 300 times.
We
Okay,
put it in
then
first.
then it's one.
It's one entry.
No, but she's saying like 10 people in the same neighborhood might say the same name.
Yeah, but it's one name that goes into the hat.
And whoever put it in first,
Oh, for whoever put in
Yeah.
first.
Time-wise,
I
you know.
was saying, how do you put it
I don't know if we'll be able to know who
there
did.
should be a timestamp,
I'd have to talk to Alexander. Let me look at that. I'm just saying.
because wherever these entries go, there has to be a metadata associated with it.
Yeah, you get timestamps on your emails.
I was,
When everybody signs up for the new Catalyst text messaging, we can ask them the follow-on question, and what would you like our lead flow?
What's the name? Yeah, first text message. What name do you want to put in?
I'm just saying, maybe there's an option of picking like 5 names and always go.
No, but then that's no,
Oh, let's just put it out there. Let's just make it happen, let it rip.
Worth the entry.
Alexandria.
That sounds
I-
great.
I'm more than happy to help.
Alexandria, I'm delegating it to her.
I've dealt with
Alexandria.
Database
They'll love
stuff.
it, they'll have fun with it.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Dave. That's great. Okay, so you'll
Do
follow
we
up.
need- Yeah, do we need like a vote or anything? Or is this just kind of internal?
I think it's just a fun thing to do.
Okay.
I mean, if we're gonna spend the money, we always spent the money on the leaf machine.
There we go.
Yeah, so if you could get with Alexandria, maybe to help coordinate it, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So thank you. Okay. Where are we here? Okay, next up, I wanted to circle back on the bed tax, an update on the bed tax. And I think Dorothy, you just included some, basic information about.
I
what's
did,
out there.
yes. I gave you the projections
Yeah.
that I provided in the past. And while I was at NICOM, one of the things in the Albany update was that 2 other villages got approval for their, and they both asked for 4%, so
Which villages?
it's
know?
right near thing,
Oh,
Village
is that-
Catskill and I can't say the other.
Good, Kathy.
Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't know where they were, yes.
So it's not going away, we're adding to it, and they encourage, if you have hotels and things in your village, you should be getting a percentage of that, and that revenue can be used directly to roads, and as we noted, road improvements, equipment is expensive.
Well, and the other thing too that I think I brought up before, but I think it bears mentioning again, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this back, to the board and to the public is that this is an identified additional revenue stream. Because right now, the bulk of our revenues come from property tax or sales tax. And so, you're either raising one or the other, that kind of thing. So what you're seeing then in terms of projections at say 4%, you're seeing potentially at a 50% occupancy, not even full occupancy, about $200,000 of additional revenue annually, potentially that we could procure that we've never identified before coming into our coffers. And so if you have a $2.1 million budget and to identify a revenue stream of that magnitude, I think it's something that really deserves some consideration that we would be interested in moving forward with this rather than just, we have to raise, property taxes every time or something like that. And Dorothea's right, this is a newly identified revenue stream and it really over time could afford us the opportunity to reinvest back in our village with additional amenities, maybe down on Shane Place, things like that. I know we're trying to find, places for bathroom facilities, other amenities that we really haven't been able to follow up on in this manner before. So I think it is worth looking at the steps, and I know, Jeff, you probably have a little bit more knowledge about it. It has to go to the state legislature. And so I'm actually going to be seeing both of our representatives, our state senator, Summer Brook, and also our assembly member, Jen Lunsford, over the next couple of weeks. And they're aware of this. They've already sponsored for other communities, to bring this before the state assembly. So that's part of the process. And what we would have to do, I believe, to initiate it would be to adopt a resolution to put it forward to go to the state. Am I saying that correctly, Jeff? Okay. And then it goes through both of the, sides of the assembly. And you're approved, whatever the rate is that you're asking for. So that's kind of the process. It's not quick, but it is something that I think we should look at initiating. So I'd like to, I have to meet with them anyway, so I'd like to be able to bring this up and just talk through it with them about what this would, how they could support this.
What do you need from us?
I guess I wanted to just let you know the process. Ultimately, we're gonna need the resolution.
We're
So,
gonna need to map the whole thing out.
yeah, but I think
It
really,
doesn't do any sense, make any sense to do that until the board is on board or not on board.
yeah, so I'm hoping that you're interested in looking at an additionally identified revenue stream for our village. So I can pursue this.
So my only question was, obviously, in this kind of projection, the Del Monte is the lion's share of the projected income.
Sure.
Do we know in other municipalities, I guess like Catskills and all that, did they get pushback from the property owners or the flag, operators, Marriott, whatever?
Sure.
Okay, what, do we know what
No,
power they had in those,
I don't,
Unless they've got something going on in the two houses of the legislature.
okay, perfect, that was all I,
Yeah, it's on the political side of it.
perfect.
yeah, they have the final say. We put through the resolution. It's,
They need to like.
yeah, we just write the resolution and
Yeah, and you put it out to the legislature. The other piece of this is it, just so everybody understands, this is called an occupancy tax. And so it is a pass-through. In other words, the business does not pay this tax. Anybody staying at their Airbnb or their inn or bed and breakfast or hotel, it's just a fee at the bottom of the bill, like a 3% or a 4%. So somebody visiting the community who doesn't live here would pay that little percentage. And then, the business would just pass it through directly to, in this instance, our municipality. So it's kind of a no harm, no foul for business.
I will say the only thing is, when we were dealing with REITs and all that type of stuff,
Mhm.
they're like, oh, we're gonna lose occupancy because people won't want to stay here because there's a new fee on it. And it's de minimis enough that's typically a moot argument.
so one thing that they did encourage, if you do this, pick your rates, because if you go too low, you're gonna have to go back in the same steps. So if they decide, oh, let's start it at 2%. I can tell you what I was looking at, the percentages that are being charged, it's 4 and up. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't go too low, because then you're gonna have to file back with the legislature to increase your percentage.
Yeah, you can't just, once you get it, you just can't increase it arbitrarily. You're making the specific request with your resolution to charge a certain percentage within your municipality.
Do we have any more precedents that we could look
Oh,
at?
we have a bunch more. I just added the 2 that most recently got approved,
Gotcha.
because we talked about this before, I think. There's a bunch of them. There's just,
So it'd be nice just if everybody's doing
Oh,
4%,
there's
then
several.
fine.
There-
It's helpful for.
I
us.
could pull and see what the average is for you, the percentage.
Yeah, why don't we do that? If that's something you're interested in, for sure.
I have a
Because more and
question.
more villages are hopping on, as they have identified this as well.
I have a question. So, on here, you've written the local STRs at 16. That's gonna change, do we know? where
Well,
that-
I don't know, this was done
This was done
prior.
before, so this was before we passed the local law for STR.
Yeah, so
So that's gonna drop.
just so people understand, STR stands for short-term rentals, which
Airbnb.
commercially would be known as, to finish my thought, commercially is known as like an Airbnb or a Vrbo. The board voted to, some members of this board voted to eliminate a number of them. So it wouldn't be factored in, we would be losing that revenue stream. So we can recalculate.
I
that
can take
based
it
on-
right out. That's the board.
Yeah, let's-
I just grabbed the previous work.
Yeah, let's just net that out and let's revise the numbers and bring back some additional research.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
but in the meantime, if we're comfortable, then you're talking.
yeah, just so I can reach out.
I'm not in favor of this at all.
Oh,
I think it's a money grab.
Okay,
And occupants at this hotel, the biggest employer in the village, are already paying a county tax and a state tax. And this is just gonna be viewed as a money grab by the village. And we collect a percentage of sales tax. We get different things through the existing taxing functions. And I think we should be going to, if we have specific projects in mind, we should be going to our legislators who are willing to pass this law and get some of the pork that they pass out throughout the state or from the federal government and get the money for our projects that way, rather than just putting another tax on somebody here in the village.
so I thank you for that. And I think, you know, we have received significant amount of funding from both of our representatives. Directly in fact for the porch. We have another $170,000 grant from Assemblymember Lunsford. you know.
And I'm not necessarily talking grants, I'm talking pork. And
Oh,
they've
pork.
got it and they give it out,
Okay, so-
and I would rather try being a little more aggressive in that arena than I would be just adding a tax.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay with it.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I'm a-
Oh, okay, okay. All right. Okay. There we are. Moving along. Where are we next? Okay, building inspector report.
I passed out the reports to you, they were late coming in. So. They were in your packet, you just.
Are there any questions for Steve? You've been hopping.
Nothing from me.
I have one kind of questions. This whole bike thing, can I get a really fast e-bike with a,
With a siren.
like a?
A light,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use a flashing light and siren.
How about?
not
we-
internally
We're gonna
illuminated.
get you
though.
one of those segways, you know, so you can do like a ball.
Oh, you can be on a Segway, like, well.
First.
I'm thinking a Harley with a sidecar.
Oh, man, now you're talking.
I don't think that's in the budget.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for doing the MS4. Stormwater, yeah, that's a biggie.
You know, I take a couple of classes.
Yeah.
You know, to prep for that. So,
Okay.
we'll do it there, I think.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, you have here the numerous meetings with residents, business owners discussing concerns. Have there been any, like, what are the major standout concerns right now from residents or business owners?
The median is a big one right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
75 an hour,
yeah.
Traffic, roads with traffic being backed up, that's our biggest issue right now, it's causing
yeah, that's the Nice Stop project on that side.
quite a problem.
It's basically almost done. They planted it all out today. There's plantings now in there. Wayside did the plantings. And they're gonna be wrapping it up, I think, within the next, right, Jason, within the next week, I think it was. Yeah, it's pretty close to being done.
And then the traffic's gonna go away.
Traffic will never go away.
Exactly.
You can only hope.
Go away.
You can only hope.
But,
It'll slow down. It's traffic calming.
but no, we should inform Jason that we need to be watering.
I already forwarded all that information, yeah,
Just-
yeah, that was part of the agreement.
Do
For
you
getting
water
ready.
them with salt water to get them ready for the winter or no?
I think the plantings are supposed to be salt resistant, yeah,
Couple of enforcement issues I'm working on right now.
okay,
Nothing major.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Has there been any concerns about building, empty buildings? I know I'm getting it from residents concerned about big businesses that have left and
I hate
Yeah.
buildings.
I know,
I
we all.
on Rachel's.
Yeah, anything happening with that?
They've gone radio silent.
No, I thought they were,
We cannot find out anything.
Mostly it's going, deal with somebody else, that's all. All I know is that, whoever bought it can't do what they wanted, so they're looking to move it.
Okay, well,
let's move it, let's move something.
Chandeliers is going to come in, the former chandeliers is going to come in for a special permit, they want to open up a high-end pizza
Artisan pizza.
type
Yeah.
restaurant.
Mhm. Great,
Nice.
yeah, that's
See,
a great
somebody made a
corner.
mention for that building on chandeliers. Is there any way they can wipe down the 65% off on the windows and make it look a little nicer instead of looking?
Yeah.
as I have this? Thank you.
It also, a lot of painters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some upkeep.
Yeah, so
It needs
it's
to work
well,
out.
thank you.
Okay, great, thank
Thank
you,
you.
thanks so much. Okay, next up. Jason, thanks, Steve, thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Steve.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, Jason,
Yeah, I mean, the business as usual.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of employees, so. Dee Dee's back, so we're bringing her back up to speed.
Yeah.
I was at NICOM last week, so. Getting my feedback underneath me here this week.
what's
We
going on?
started leaf pickup, just in a bulk manner.
Mhm.
We're already bringing in, I mean, this was just a total from 2 weeks ago, 78 yards, which is a lot.
Wow,
We're probably acceptable for the yards, just a lot of weeks. It's an early draft, so we're eager to get the new machine on the road. That should be sometime next week, once, insurance registration or anything else is handled. So, we did perform a pump station cleanup with the assistance of East Rochester over at Wood Creek. So you can get in there and, spray the barrel down, activate the pumps, clean the pumps a little bit. Just get it running a little bit more smoothly. It's seen a lot of activity over the years, so it hasn't been cleaned in I don't know how long, so. We got there and did the best we could with it, so. Other than that, it's just been busy,
Yeah.
we have been all over the place working on parks, leaves, roads, paintwork, you name it.
everything's looking great, thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for the
Awesome.
crew. Really. Any other questions?
Yeah, one question, it's been brought up several times about that parking spot right in front of Collier at Lincoln and South Main.
I'm leaving.
Have we talked, no, the one in
No,
front
it's
of Collier,
Oh,
about potentially, I know that the question was we lose a parking space, but the safety off of Lincoln and can't see because there's a car parked almost right to
the corner.
Lincoln Ave on the corner.
So the south.
No, I'm sorry,
On
I'm
South
sorry.
Main.
It's the one right on the corner when you come off of Lincoln and you're gonna wanna turn left onto South Main Street, right on the corner. There's and if you have a high profile vehicle, like a large SUV, and you're in a little tiny car like I have, you can't see anything and you inch out. And we did speak about this before, and my suggestion was on the opposite side on South Main, where there used to be a bus stop, it is now just striped out to not park there.
Yeah,
We could move that parking spot, we would, there'd be a net. In other words, if we took the one away in front of Collier's on the corner, we could just paint out a new parking spot on the right-hand side, which wouldn't block anybody.
there was a reason we did the one on the right though, and that was for
Yes.
vehicles being able to pull out and make a left, they could not see making a left-hand turn out of Lincoln.
Correct.
So that's why we took you in that space.
From what, no, that
Yeah.
doesn't make
Yes,
sense.
yes, it was.
Yeah, the space on the right was hashed out
Yeah.
because cars were actually parked so close. to the
Oh,
corner.
Yes.
When a
yes.
car or a
Oh,
vehicle-
but we,
Let's try to go back.
but
Yeah.
we need to take a look at how the paint, they were painted out. Mikey mentioned something about that. We need to look at the actual distances of the spaces. We might be able to stretch it a little. There was something that might, let's revisit that. I want to
Yeah.
revisit
You mean,
that.
I didn't.
It was before your time.
Yeah.
No, I measured it all out with this paintwork.
Oh.
Last summer. So it was all.
Right, but the spot was dedicated to be a no parking.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I had to hand stripe all that and measure it all out, and laid out.
Yeah, I worked with
All
John
right.
with that a year
Yeah.
ago. I
It
forgot.
would have been right after the completion of the curb cut project.
Mhm. I want to circle back on that. Steve.
Yeah,
I do.
we can definitely figure out a solution.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we'll meet up and take a
Other
look.
than that, nice job.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, oh, it's great. Okay,
We're gonna,
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I did have one question. So now with the new leaf machine that we're going to be getting with the siphons and stuff like that, it sounds like you're going to be much more efficient, at
Yes.
least with the crew, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have like a new plan for where everyone's going to be able to go, you know, once like idle time and stuff? Okay, just want
there's always.
to make sure that there's.
No, it's not like they're gonna go back to their knitting,
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
yeah, we've got a pretty
Yeah.
good plan now. We've got a great group of people.
Yeah.
We're actually talking about another possible employee here.
we need an executive session.
We've worked through quite a
Yeah,
few
there's
things.
other,
And everybody's stepping up big time. The employees that we have are eager, they're getting, trained in multiple pieces of equipment so that we can have a lot of seats filled, and different seats filled by different people. So we should have a very efficient operation and everybody is willing and wanting to get out and do work. So nobody's fighting me on it, nobody wants to work long days, they're ready here to do work.
it's
So
all great. Morale's great too, and
Yeah.
you're a big part of that, so thank you.
I'll go on record that where we were when I got elected to where we are now, it's been 100% turnaround. I'm thrilled. You know,
Great, thank
For
you,
the
John.
village
Mhm.
with what's going on down at DPW.
Thank
Couldn't agree more.
That
I
helps.
thank the board for your support. You're a crucial part of what I need to be able to do my job, so thank you. One other thing, I forgot, we had our surplus auction. Values came in much higher than anticipated.
Oh.
I believe we pulled in 46,000.
Great.
So I was expecting something.
That's good news.
I know. Merry
Wow,
Christmas,
that's
as they say.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have, treasurer.
My turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Yeah, and we just need a session. We need our executive, right? Do we
Yeah.
need one? But we don't need Jeff for that, do we?
Nothing I'm aware
I
of.
think we're set.
Member items?
Anything for member items for Jeff? Okay, we're releasing you to the universe. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Let them have a wonderful night.
Thank
You
you.
You too.
too.
Okay, we have your abstract 15 in front of you. Any questions related to any of the items? I'm not seeing anything too surprising in here.
A question on the South of Wood Street project. They're showing 346, 768, 25. Are we holding any retainage on their project?
We're holding we'll hold retainage until the project is met with all the punch lists.
We got 5%.
I think it's 10.
Okay.
It's
Thank
more
you.
than that. Yeah, it's more than 5.
Yeah, it's more than 5.
Mhm.
It's
Thank
like
you.
that. And that's really, we're getting, they anticipate we'll have one more invoice. Final invoice, and then a portion of that will be rebilled out, because it was part of a grant, and we'll be sending that into the dormitory, and hopefully that'll be a quick turnaround, but.
How long does it take to?
Well, we did a lot of front work, so I'm hoping that it'll be less on the back work, but if I get it in the year, I'll be happy.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fancy footwork.
There's a lot of fancy work. And my understanding dormitory is trying to move these things along faster, so I'm hoping since we did so much time in the run that it counts towards the.
Yeah.
Do any concern or anything with the bill pay
Not
motion?
bad. I make a motion to approve the bill pay. Did it? Is there a second?
Second.
Stereo.
Okay. Already put down Jones.
We'll get the next.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wills.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Bye.
Trustee Limback.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer. Motion passes. Okay, you have financials, you have 2 sets. We could talk about July, but we might as well just go to the August. So. Spoke with Dave regarding these today, there's really, it's August. Things don't get interesting in the financials till December, January.
Yeah.
You are seeing a negative in the general fund with the salts.
Oh, right.
just timing.
it's a timing thing and it's a frustrating thing because that's for salt usage for last year, but by the time it came to us, I'm in my new fiscal year, well in advance, and I have nothing to go by to anticipate that expense. That's problematic. We need to talk to the town, straighten out when we're getting those bills, because
Yeah.
it's.
Because we get our salt through the town, it's a deal that we have with the town, and then.
The other
Cash flow standpoint, it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
Because from a cash flow standpoint, it doesn't matter, because.
No, because we didn't pay
Yeah,
it
we
last
didn't pay
year,
anything.
so we had a surplus in last year,
Exactly.
so.
Doesn't-
Here and there, it came in that time, that's just me being, me. But anyway, having said that,
Right.
the other thing, I want to take a quick look at our revenues, we did have on there the sale of equipment. And I just wanted to see where we came in.
Property.
Well, we're under, we were anticipating 77,000, so about 46, but I think we're selling another piece of equipment that didn't get sold.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
Okay, so that would anticipate that revenue would be lower,
Yeah.
because the expense side, again, would be lower. Okay, but I'm not seeing any issues, I will be putting forth the budget transfer for the salt unless I can take it out of that line, but it's too early in that line because we're just starting our year.
Yeah.
Remind me, so the sale of equipment, obviously 77, there's nothing yet. But we got some coming in, parking tickets, we have 7,500. And nothing really so far, does that really not start looking at until winter?
Come in, it's minor, we're getting our checks, let me see here, you have 720 in already, and.
Oh, okay, so I'm looking at it a little, I'm looking
Yeah.
at a lot.
Yeah, the sale of equipment hasn't hit, you won't see that now, we won't till we get the check. So hopefully we'll see the check in October, if we don't see it till November, you'll see it in your November financials. So it's always when the action happens, so since I know the action, I can't count for the revenue yet. Any other questions, concerns, about looking good? It's like we'll talk about the payment of the leaf truck. When I get the bill.
Yeah,
Okay,
So if I can have approval for July and August
Financials.
financial.
make a motion to approve the July and August 2025 financials. That's it.
Second.
roll call.
Okay, trustee Co.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
And I,
Trustee Limbeck.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Okay, the other thing, went out of order, but the cybersecurity. I forewarned the board that this was coming.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have training done before the beginning of the new year, and it's impacting everybody. So everybody sitting at this table needs training. Any board member that has access to village mail has to be trained. It's any touching of anything that relates to the village. So
And this is a mandatory state
this is
requirement.
state law.
Yeah,
that they
mandatory
even
state, just so
village-
everybody understands.
There is training, and I went through the possible things to use. There is something through the state that can be used, and it's a free of charge thing that they can just do it online. It's not a pass or fail thing, but it is just go through the training.
So when can you make that available for us?
And it's available by the state. I think it's available now. So
Okay, so
I think we
can
need to,
Alexandria send things out
Yeah,
to
just
give everybody the information?
yeah, so.
That's the
this
action
week on the
item.
Board, we're gonna be doing that. I
Mhm.
talked to, the other part of this is the multi-factor logins and everything for our computers and stuff.
Mhm.
So I started the conversation with our vendor, Emergentel. So I'm putting a meeting together to get them and see what needs to happen. They said they can roll that out very quickly.
Pretty common.
Should be really easy.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They didn't,
Microsoft Authenticator.
they didn't seem to think it was a problem.
Okay.
But this goes to training and recognizing what is affected. I mean, it's a big issue. And you've even seen it with the pumps. It's all our vendors, everybody we deal with, we have to make sure
That's a
that
good thing.
looking at that.
Great, thanks.
And along with that training, I got to talk to Jason. We were initially looking at the 13th of November to do our annual trainings for sexual harassment, workplace violence, active shooter, healthcare. We'll be doing employee day, doing the healthcare renewals and everything else that are coming up. I might have to change that to the 20th. Due to a personal issue.
Okay. But at some point, you're gonna be doing the training.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing
It's
the
gonna be
training in
employee training
November.
day, covering everything that's.
Everything. It
Okay.
also has to be board members too. You'll be
Mhm.
receiving an
Yeah.
invite unless you get your training from your other employer. You know, just provide us a certificate, but otherwise you need to join us.
Great.
Okay, for the training.
Will you give us a kind of a
We'll be
feedback?
sending out,
So we
we'll be sending out.
It's an action
something.
item, yeah.
And last year we had someone come in and do a portion of the training. I think the board request I do the full training this time. Instead of
Okay.
having,
And you're thinking this is gonna be in November?
yes, it's, the board requested that these trainings be done in this quarter of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
I think that's all I have right now, unless oh, wait, no, I'm like. So I also received from Vero, a request for payment for the vendor for the front porch for the first parts.
Oh, you're right.
What they're requesting is $21,741.50. Or I just received this today. So if I can have authorization to pay it.
Fair motion, please.
What's the amount?
$21,741.50. I know where you're going and I
Yeah.
can make that correction.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll make a motion to authorize Dorothea to make a payment of $21,741.50 for the front porch renovation.
Second.
Trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
trustee Coe.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. And if I can have amendment to the bill pay to withhold the payment to Casella until we satisfactorily solve all the issues we're having. Correct.
Mhm.
I make a motion to amend. What did you say?
Bill pay.
Bill pay?
Bill pay.
To withhold the Casella
Payment.
payment of 14,000. Is that how much it was?
Mhm.
It's $14,600.40 until we're satisfied with the resolution.
Second.
What she said.
What she said.
Okay, trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you for thinking of that.
Well, thank you. That's great.
I caught the law.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's all I have for this. I will be gone the rest of the week.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Yep, we have minutes and we have member items, so we need to have an executive session.
Yep.
Okay. Let's take a look at the minutes, please. Any comments or?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for July 28th.
Second.
Roll call?
Okay, trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Limbeck,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, that's it. Member items. Anybody have member items?
I do.
Okay, John?
I've got, we got notified by the state, the Department of State, that all code enforcement officials are gonna have to take 12 hours of mandatory training. Because the state's switching codes from the 2020 version to the 2025 version. I forwarded those to Steve because if you take them this year, they'll be good for his training up through 2027.
Oh, that's
So they're all webinars. In fact, one of them is going to fall on one of our workshop dates. But I thought it was valuable for him to get signed up.
Thank you.
It's
for that.
limited to the first 800, so.
Oh, it
hopefully he
is.
can get
Okay.
in, you know,
Okay.
But,
No, he'll be on that. I know he will.
and,
Thank you.
and then the second one, I'd like to do an executive session
Okay.
when we get there.
Okay.
We
That's all I
will-
got.
Do we know
Other
the
minutes.
general, yeah, we have to identify, for example, we're gonna be going
It's a
into.
personnel issue.
Okay, that's all we need to know. Okay, thank you. Any other member items?
He's seeing in high.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I have one, and it's good news, and some of you saw the sign out in the hall that we achieved our bronze status as a clean energy community, which is kind of a great thing, which makes us eligible for more grants. And we can use those for sustainability efforts in the village. And green projects.
What is
It's a
that?
state program.
So what was criteria for?
We had to meet certain benchmarks and it's fairly extensive. Alexandria really helped us with this. This sort of has been honchoing this. And so one of the benchmarks was, for example, we upgraded our heating system. We no longer have oil-based heat in the building. It's a heat pump. We did LED lighting, you know, all sustainable efforts, and so you accumulate points. And we finally had a certain level to make bronze, and I think we're the second village in Monroe County to make bronze. Fitchville was the first.
The reason why I was asking is because it must be hard being a historic building and still
You're
meeting.
trying to get that
that
balance,
criteria,
yeah,
so.
yeah, no, it's all, it's really kind of great, you know, and it's on the state website that, you know, we're on it, so that's my item. Okay, anything else, just real quick, okay, I make a motion, we go into executive session,
Second,
excuse me, for the, I have to say.
oh, sorry.
For the purposes of, discussing, HR matter, personnel matter.
I second.
Okay, trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Limbeck.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. I have the green light here, are the captions going?
Yes, they are. It's just,
Okay.
I'm trying to spot them, spot them. We might have video, we'll have sound, whether we have the actual video.
Well, we're just doing it.
Okay.
I make a motion, we leave executive session.
Second,
Trustee Wilkes.
aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Limbeck.
Right.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Oh, Mayor Plummer, I said, I didn't let you go.
Aye. Aye.
I was
did
trying to
say
say
it.
that all night.
I tried to do the Vulcan mind meld with it, though. I did.
I was too bad. I see the light.
I know, we're almost there.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to hire a new full-time MEO, Adam Yarborough, at $24.75 an hour. After he meets his new hire requirements with a 2-week start, or starting in 2 weeks.
Second.
Okay. Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Limbeck.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Oh, geez, everybody leaped on that one.
Okay, trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Limbeck.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
See you all tomorrow.
Yes, Don, if there's anything.
That's right, we have our.